It's amazing that everybody waves, but everybody, from 85-year-olds down to 3-year-olds, they all want to wave at the helicopter because I suppose it's red, white, got rescue written on the side.
And they know that one day their lives might depend on it. 167 people needed the Portland Coastguard helicopter last year. 107 of them would probably have died without it. This parachutist is one.
He ran off Beer Head. Unfortunately, he got his timings wrong, got blown back on to the cliff and was trapped halfway down a 300-foot cliff by his parachute.
Tony Campbell was winchman that day. He was lowered on a 300-foot wire. The helicopter couldn't get lower in case its downdraft blew the injured man off the cliff.
That was the scariest job I've ever done in my life. Not only was I high above sea level and the beach, when we moved into the casualty, the wire actually caught round some rock. Bearing in mind that I had a 150-foot sheer drop to the beach, it made me very frightened indeed. I was scared.
The parachutist was winched to safety, escaping certain death. He suffered a broken arm and leg. The Portland helicopter crew were awarded the Board of Trade Shield for exceptional bravery and skill.
Bill Deacon, the winch operator, was I can't describe what he was incredible by what he did by keeping me within such a distance of the casualty for that. It was about half an hour the actual rescue took. Bill, unfortunately, last November, he was lost during a rescue off Shetland. Bill I've known for over 20 years now. He was an excellent crewman and will be sadly missed by everybody.
The job is dangerous, but risks are minimised by meticulous training.
Condor Express, Coastguard helicopter, Whiskey Bravo.
Whiskey Bravo, Condor Express, go ahead.
Are we clear to close and carry out winching?
Today they drop in on the Condor catamaran as she leaves Poole, building up speed.
Right one, steady. Right two only.
At the time, I'm trying to manoeuvre myself so I can look at the deck, and to be honest with you, all I'm worried about is getting onto the deck safely. If the aircraft hits turbulence or the pilot might put in slightly more movement, then that can actually put a swing onto me on the end of the rope because I'm like a pendulum on the bottom, and that can dictate whether or not I may be injured or I may get safely to the position I want to be in.
This is Portland Coastguard Ops, normal check, over.
Coastguard headquarters in Weymouth. These are the men and women who coordinate rescues. They take the decision to call out the helicopter.
This is Portland Coastguard, scramble, Coastguard rescue helicopter, Whiskey Bravo.
A woman's been spotted in the sea. It's believed she's attempting suicide. The crew are allocated 15 minutes to get airborne. They wouldn't dream of taking that long. Today, it takes 4. 9 minutes later, they've covered 21 miles from Portland to Sandbanks. But the inshore lifeboat has already recovered the woman alive from the sea. The helicopter crew regard this as good weather. They'll fly in anything.
There's never been a time when we haven't got airborne. There have been times when we haven't actually been able to winch because of the conditions, but we've always got airborne and we've always recovered back here.
This aircraft is more than 20 years old. It was once famously described as 80,000 nuts and bolts flying in formation, but it is still regarded as the world's best search and rescue helicopter, and over the years it has saved hundreds of lives.
Slung underneath us is a camera called FLIR, forward-looking infrared. This is state-of-the-art search equipment. 4 miles ahead of us is a tanker. This is all that's visible from the cockpit, but flick to FLIR and it appears. The operator guides the pilots in. But the aircraft wouldn't fly at all without this man. John Church has been working on Sikorsky's for 1/4 of a century. It's a labour of love.
It's just lovely. It's big, it's easy to work on, reliable, everything is accessible. I love it.
365 days a year, 14 people work shifts at Portland Search and Rescue Base. Hours of training, hours of waiting, but when the call comes, they always answer.
The pure job satisfaction in this is fantastic.
I love this job. I can't think of anything else I want to do better, and I get paid for it as well.